Good afternoon, New York, and the rest of our listeners around the globe. My name is June Stoyer, and I'm the host of the Organic View Radio Show. Our podcast is available on iTunes, Zune, and you can also visit our website at www.theorganicview.com. If you'd like to be on the show or would like to find out about sponsorship opportunities, please contact us at questions@theorganicview.com. Today's show is sponsored by ramvpn.com, the leading provider of next-generation online anonymity and VPN security solutions. Their architecture is unique, tamper-safe, and 100% guaranteed. They even accept Bitcoin. Listeners of the Organic View Radio Show can receive a 15% discount in 3-month and 6-month personal plans by using the coupon code ORGVIEW. That's ORGVIEW. For more promotional offers, please visit our website at www.theorganicview.com. Also, don't forget to check out our contest section on our website for your chance to win one of our cool prizes. For more information, please visit www.theorganicview.com/contests. Freedom is not something that comes for free. Our veterans, unfortunately, know this too well and are still waiting to receive the help that they need. On today's show, John J. Berry, a retired U.S. Navy and Vietnam War veteran, is back to talk about some new developments that will actually help the veterans get the care that they need. So I'd like to welcome back to the show Mr. John Berry. Good afternoon, John, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you, June. I am very happy to be here.
As always, it's a pleasure, John. You've been on the show numerous times, and unfortunately, it just seems as though the progress is... You're making progress, but not fast enough, unfortunately. So it's always good to have you come back so that new listeners that are tuning in, especially young people that don't know what's going on, can understand what's going on with our veterans.
Oh, this is true. The younger people, they just haven't got a clue of the hardships that we're going through.
No, they certainly do not. John, could you share with the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, I served 22 years in the Navy. I did 4 deployments on board ship to Vietnam and the South China Sea. Of course, I was never on land, but we were always within the 12-mile limit of Vietnam, doing our job, passing ammunition and fuel to other ships. They say, or the VA says, that it's not possible for us to be infected with Agent Orange. Well, this is untrue because it was proven by the Australian Veterans Affairs and also proven again by the Institute of Medicine of the U.S. That we were in fact infected because it was in our drinking water. Myself, I have come down with several cancers. In fact, yesterday I just realized my 6th cancer. 6 cancers that I have survived. That's probably a milestone right there.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. It seems as though every time that you're on the show, there's unfortunately a new development, and it's not for the better.
Right.
And
this one tacked my ear, and I very well may lose my left ear. We won't know that for a while yet. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, I'm stuck with my disease. There are other guys who have a variety of diseases, and they cannot get VA benefits. They cannot get compensation. So many have had to sell their homes or take out second and third mortgages just to pay their medical bills. Is this fair? Is this right? Is this what our veterans fought for, to be ignored by our government? I don't.
Absolutely not.
They fought the battles. I fought the battles. Each branch of service fought the battle, each in their own way. Each in their own way deserve to be taken care of, and our government doesn't care.
John, can you take a moment for people that don't quite understand why so many veterans are sick, exactly what Agent Orange dioxin exposure is about and how people can tell if they are suffering from this exposure?
All right. Well, first off, you need to know a little bit of the science and the history of it. Agent Orange is a chemical that was produced by the Monsanto and the Dow Chemical Corporation. Monsanto being the main entity for that particular herbicide. Agent Orange, the herbicide, has a ingredient known as dioxin. Dioxin is a deadly poison. It is second only to radiation poisoning. That's how deadly it is. It resides in the human body, in the fatty tissues of the human body. And it stays there forever. It can be passed on to their children by way of conception. And this has happened more times than not. I know people who have deformities. My own 2 children were born with deformities. Fortunately, they were corrected surgically, and they are fine today. But what about those children who were born missing a leg or an arm or had their organs on the outside of their body? A story I'll tell very briefly. When I was at a meeting with the VVA, Vietnam Veterans of America, a couple got up, and their newborn child, a girl, had all of her organs born on the outside of her body. The doctor said that over time, they could correct some of this surgically. They decided to allow their child to die rather than live with these deformities. And each one, the male and the female, their mother and father, had themselves fixed so that they could never have children again. That is what it has led to be. Is this right? No. This is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And our government does not care. Presently, we have approximately 174,000 U.S. Navy who are sick with Agent Orange dioxin, who cannot get benefits. We now have 2 bills. We have had bills before, ever since several years back, and each time they have failed. The 2 bills we have now, a House bill number 969 and Senate Bill S681. Both of them are titled Blue Water Navy Vietnam Veterans Agent Orange Act. It is these guys who really need help, because the VA says, how can they be infected? Well, we are. We drank the water. It was in our water. Ships at sea distill water, salt water, into fresh water. The heat that it takes to distill the water is 112 to 114 degrees Fahrenheit. Dioxin loves the heat. All other chemicals are burned out except for dioxin. It stays in the water. So we drank it, our clothes were washed in it, our food was cooked in it. It took years to catch up to us. It took 30 years for me to realize my first cancer. Some guys, maybe a year. It all depends on the strength of the person's immune system. But it is in our bodies. It's in my body forever. And but it could take a matter of a couple of years, or it could take 30 years, like it took for me before I got sick. So far, I have survived 6 cancers. I had bladder cancer, prostate cancer, kidney cancer. I lost a kidney. I had cancer on top of my head, which was extremely painful. I had cancer on my foot. Now I've got cancer on my ears. The cancer I had on my head was extremely painful. I am talking screaming pain when my wife would have to change my bandages and when I would have to get radiation therapy. I screamed with pain for nearly 8 months. I wanted the pain to go away. I toyed with a pistol. Where would be the best place to put a bullet in my head to take the pain away? But then I thought of my wife. If I did that, she would lose all my benefits. So I gave my pistol to a friend of mine and told him not to give it back to me until my wife said I could have it back. That's how desperate I became to get rid of the pain. I don't ever want to see anybody go through what I've gone through. Not my worst enemy I want to see go through what I went through.
Let me ask you a question. In regards to the existing veterans' benefits, why don't they cover all the treatments that you need? And also, how does Obamacare fit into this equation, if at all?
Obamacare doesn't fit into this equation at all. Obamacare, the health care system that Obamacare has created, is for ordinary people. It's not for veterans, because veterans can go to the VA if the VA will treat them at all. Sometimes it could take months before they can see a doctor. In the meantime, they get worse or they die. Oftentimes, the VA will hand the veteran a handful of pills, mostly calm-me-down type pills, pain pills. Well, that doesn't cut it. They need treatment. And they get pushed out the door, just like that. But the Obamacare thing is mostly for those people, such as yourself, who can't pay for adequate health care. That's what that is for. It's not for the veteran.
So if someone who's a non-veteran sustained the ailments that you're experiencing, they would be able to obtain treatment through Obamacare, but because you're a veteran, you have to go through the VA administration and the benefits that they offer, and you're unable to get that treatment. Is that correct?
Exactly. Now, see, I'm retired from the Navy, so what I have is what's known as TRICARE for life. So I can see any doctor, any hospital I want to, and I will have no copays, because that's part of my benefit of being retired from the military. My medications, I pay a very low copay. $15 is my copay. Some of the meds that I take, one medication in particular costs $4,000 a month, but I only pay $15 for it. That is the benefit for being retired from the military. Anyone who's not retired from the military, that did their 2 years or 4 years or 6 years, and they want to get VA care, they have to register with the VA and try to get care from them. The VA is very overwhelmed with these people, so they push them out the door with a handful of pills. Some don't even get the type of treatment that they should be getting. They don't get the x-rays that they should be getting to find out what's wrong with them, or the various types of diagnosis. There has been little improvement that I have seen as far as the VA goes. There's the scandal with the VA. Many hospitals, such as the one in Arizona, the biggest scandal in the country, where nearly 60 men have died just waiting to see a doctor, which sometimes that wait months. The hospital here in Philadelphia, where I live, my area, is doing the same thing. They are now under investigation for not caring properly for our veterans. There are dozens of VA hospitals presently under investigation. People are getting fired. So they put new people in their position. And the big thing is how many veterans can they turn away depends on the bonuses that these top people get. They get bonuses for turning people away. Is this right? I've never heard of a bonus for turning somebody away for treatment.
Why would someone turn away a veteran?
I don't know. I have no answer for that. I have no answer for that. The less that they can take care of, the better the bonus that they get. And this is wrong, absolutely wrong. It's ludicrous. It's a government agency.
Don, what has the response been from the Veterans Administration as far as the treatment of our veterans?
As far as what I have heard, the Veterans Administration says they are doing their job, quote unquote. I don't think so. Not when guys are dying right there in the waiting room. There was a case not long ago where a veteran, waiting in the waiting room, he suddenly came under attack, a heart attack. What they did is they actually called an ambulance to take him around the corner to the emergency room when they could just merely wheel him into that emergency room within minutes, but took something like 30 minutes to get an ambulance and then take him around to the emergency room. And he died. When they could have saved his life by putting him on a gurney right there in the waiting room, wheeled him approximately 200 feet to the emergency room and saved his life. Now, you tell me, is this right? It's the way they operate. Their operation needs to be changed. Who can change it? I don't know.
It's just inhumane to do that.
You're exactly right. If I was in charge of something like this, heads would swing. Things would change. But who am I? I'm a little fish. So I write about it. I've been published 45 times. This is my 30th radio talk show. I've been on TV commentaries. Congress does not like me because of how I write. I don't care that they don't like me. All I want is them to do their job. We need those two bills passed. Either one, doesn't matter which one passes, it will become law. Once it becomes law, then we're good. Now, the whole thing boils down to one thing called the CBO. Now, the CBO is the Congressional Operations Budget, SCORE. That's money. The last time we had a bill, the CBO score was $2.74 billion to care for our Vietnam veterans. They said that was too much money. But yet, we gave away $247 billion to countries who hate us and who are using it against us, like Syria and Pakistan. Go figure. Right now we have people, there's only a few of us, a handful of us, who are working on this. We are trying to get Congress to accept the CBO score of $1 billion or less. Now, what that will mean is if they accept this and they pass the bill and it becomes law, once it becomes law, the VA can then go to the Congress and say, hey, this $800,000 or this $1 billion is not enough money. We need more. Since it became law, Congress is then obligated to give the VA more money for operating funds. That's how it works. So it all depends on the CBO score, and it hasn't come out yet for these two bills. We expect it to come out soon, and things will look up and we'll get the bill passed. It doesn't matter which one gets passed. Either one. They're both named the same. President signs it, and it becomes law, and then these veterans can then get the help that they need, the medical care, and the compensation. Now, the ones that would get mostly compensation are the ones who no longer can work because they're too sick. So they need to pay their bills, they need to take care of their household, take care of their families, so they need compensation as well, which, by the way, is tax-free. It's not a lot. Normally amounts to about maybe $3,500 a month, plus their Social Security, and they can at least live on that. They can get all of their medical care free, which is the big thing, big issue. But we need these bills. Now, this is something I have proposed, June. I have posted this on Facebook, something like 15 or 20 sites on Facebook. I am asking the American people to write a letter to the President of the United States and enclose $1 and then ask him to add $100,000 to that $1. If 1 million people will do this, even 500,000 would help. There will be enough money to take care of every sick veteran of the Vietnam War with money left over. I hope I can get people to do this. I've put it on Facebook, spread it around dozens of times, asking people to do this. I will be sending my $1 to the President, asking him to add $100,000 to my $1. It will be comical, I think. Will it happen? Because the President can't keep that dollar. He's not allowed to. But he might get the hint that we are serious about our veterans, caring for them. Maybe, just maybe, it will happen. So, American people, get out there, write a letter to the President, enclose $1, ask him to add $100,000 to your dollar. 1 million people will take care of every veteran in this country who is sick. I know it's a brazen act, but I'm brazen. I'm very outspoken, and I don't care what anybody thinks about me. The only thing I care about is that our veterans get the help that they deserve, the help that they need, and the families have help too.
And folks, that address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 20500. Once again, that's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 20500. And the address you could always Google, but for those of you that don't know the White House's address, that's where you need to send this dollar bill along with your message requesting that the President do something to take care of our veterans. And, you know, John, it's just a shame that we're at this point where this is what you have to do to get some sort of response out of the White House. It should be a priority. It
is a shame. And the thing is getting the response from the American people. Nothing's going to happen without the American people. The American people have a voice, whether they know it or not. They have more power than any congressman, any senator. They've got more power than the President if they will use their voice. That's what it takes. It will take the voice of the American people to make things happen. Without that, nothing's going to happen.
Well, John, I sincerely hope that our listeners, especially for those of you that are proud patriots, please do as John is asking. It's not much to ask, and it will help a lot of people who are truly in need. John, thank you so much for being on the show today. As always, It's a pleasure to have you on, and I sincerely hope that things change the next time that you're on the show.
One thing is that a lot of people think politics. Forget politics. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent. It doesn't make a hill of beans who you are, what party you represent. We're not representing a party here. We are representing thousands and thousands of veterans who need help. Party has nothing to do with it.
Exactly. And folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please check out the companion article that will feature John's letter and also the information for the White House so that you can submit your dollar and send a message to President Obama and ask him, please support our veterans. Thank you for tuning in. This has been June Stoyer with the Organic View Radio Show. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, June. You're a treasure.